to share two more from this, which is yet to be released, and it is poems from different voices from different people. And I explained who they were in the first one, so this poem, which is called Like I Was Never There, is actually from Janet. Not me, but it's a great story. So I decided to sneak off one night and go camping with Sam and Vern. We all rolled out our sleeping bags out on the far side of the field at night. Sam had brought a hurricane lamp, but he didn't have any oil for it. So he and Vern went down to the street, broke into a garage there, and got a can of lawnmower gasoline. Because, you know, it makes perfect sense to use gasoline for your oil lamp. But anyway, in the shadows, by the street, in the dark, they planned on filling this hurricane lamp with gas, but in the shadows, they couldn't see what they were doing. So Sam said that he needed more light. So so that he could see to fill the oil lamp with gas. So Vern decided to pull out his lighter. Oh. Yes, Vern, the bright one, is going to light the way, I suppose. And Vern lit the lighter, but there still wasn't enough light. Keep in mind that there was a building, they were hiding in the bushes, but the street lamp was right there with the light post. What to do, what to do. So Sam asked Vern to move the lighter closer. I mean, these two flunked their way through a couple of years of school, and I know that I was young, but I knew this wasn't a good idea. So I started to back away. And after I turned around, Vern apparently got the lighter too close. I was already 20 feet away when I felt the heat and saw an orange glow from the fireball. And I started to run, but as I was running, I looked back and saw two fireballs in the air. One was the lantern, and the other was the gas can. And I swear to God, that lantern crashed down onto the street, and it set the entire street on fire. The gas can landed uphill from the lantern, pouring gasoline down the street, so flames were then running up the gas can, further spreading the street fire. I grabbed my sleeping bag and ran. I heard the sirens, and I had to act like I was never there. He was the husband of my oldest friend. We sang when we were in a band in Chicago together, and he's the one that came up with the name Mom's Favorite Vase for our band. But anyway, this is a short piece from Warren. It's called Things Warren Says. I know about this guy. He sucked his eyeball out with a shop vac. Oh. He went to the hospital, brought the shop vac with him. It was okay, but they couldn't put his eye back in. It was all mangled. And besides, it was covered in potato chips. These are the things that we're doing. This is another new one called Xynotyro. It's not ricotta. This one is not about other people. This is my own stuff. Sorry. Doctors found a large ovarian cyst in a friend of mine, still in her early 20s. She was scheduled for surgery to remove it, so the weekend before, I thought she needed to get away. She needed to pick me up, so we flew to DC and stayed with my friend. Now, my friend worked on the Hill. He didn't know my girlfriend, so he just gave us the keys and said that we could be off on our own. So we saw the Smithsonian, we toured the town, took buses to every place from one place to the next. Now, when this city girl got on a DC bus and sat down, I thought we'd have a moment of peace. But until a disheveled, older black man walked right over to us to talk. And the first thing in my head was that this guy was homeless, but I'm trapped with him on this bus. How do I avoid him asking me for money? But before, there was actually no escaping him, actually. He looked us right into our eyes and said, "Can you help me?" And I didn't want to answer. I was out of my element, but he pulled out a newspaper, crinkled in his grasp. and he said, I'm doing a crossword here. And they want an 8-letter word for cheese. There's an O and a T, but they're in the wrong spot. A kind of cheese. It's not ricotta. I can't think of any other words. Can you think of any other kind of cheese? Now, I don't do crossword puzzles, but I couldn't even think. And I think my friend was a little too concerned for her own safety. So we just both said no, and he said thanks and turned to ask someone else on the bus and kept repeating it. A kind of cheese. 8 letters. Not ricotta. Gorgonzola's too long. Sorry. And so we turned back and stared out the large plane glass panels on the bus, trying to soak in everything that we could, though we could still hear the din of people talking and the disheveled men asking people about this crossword clue. I think I looked over to see him accosting another woman with his forwardness, and when he stopped asking, she looked down and then said meekly, cottage? And that's when this disheveled man turned into a bombastic, boisterous behemoth, thrilled with this one word that he needed. Cottage! Cottage! It's cottage! Thank you! And just as the bus was slowing down for a stop, this man kept repeating the words as he got off the bus. Cottage! An 8-letter word for cheese! Cottage! and I even watched him walk down the street as our bus pulled away, seeing such new animation in this old man's style. You're right. Holy cow, but that's what it was. That's actually what it was.
Yeah.